What a joy to see you, Jack.
Thank
You
you,
look
Raymond.
happy, refreshed. Your face looks reddish. You must be all excited
I've been out in the sun a lot. It's fun. I love summer.
and you look very regal and royal in purple. So Jack is also a dear friend of mine. We've been friends for like 30 years, and it actually takes 30 years to have a lifelong friend. So I'm so honored that we are friends and that we've known each other for so long. We've helped each other. We go on vacation twice a year, or at least that was the truth before the lockdown. And if you've been hiding under a rock somewhere, I will introduce Jack for you. He was the star of the movie The Secret. He's the co creator of the incredible Chicken Soup for the Soul series of books. He's the author of Success Principles. He's written a total, if you include other languages, a total of several hundred books, but he admits he's an overachiever. And I've asked him to come to deliver just a knockout, important presentation, not just on money, which a lot of the others are talking about as well, but also on health, which is critically important in this lockdown. So, Jack, my dear friend,
And I'm going to be sharing with you today about the idea of health as an abundance and prosperity, as well as just your financial world. And one of the things that Raymond teaches, that I teach, that John Assaraf teaches, Bob Proctor teaches, John Gray teaches, is you want to have multiple sources of income. So when any one of them has any kind of fluctuation, you've got the others to rely on. So I'm going to be sharing about that as well. So let me share my screen, and we will jump into this really quickly. Let me hit the right button here.
yeah, I confirm that we can see your screen and we can see you.
Good. I like that. That's always good. All right. So, how to achieve enhanced wellness, emotional freedom, and financial freedom at the same time with essential oils. And I'm going to share with you my journey with this and why I want to invite you to play with me. Raymond's been involved with this for the last year and a half as well. And we are really excited about the opportunity here for increased wellness, longevity, energy, all the, getting rid of chronic pain and all kind of things that people have, as well as the income opportunity that comes with this. And as you probably know, Raymond just introduced me and said, Chicken Soup for the Soul books, a couple of which I co-authored with Raymond, Chicken Soup for the Canadian Soul and also Chicken Soup for the Parent Soul. And I love this cartoon. It says, meanwhile, at the annual poetry book burning, so all these chickens, they're not liking the chicken soup idea because it includes them in a way that they would be committed and not just interested. So anyway, for the fun of it. And also in The Secret and also the Success Principles. So everything I'm sharing with you is in alignment with helping you be more successful. I've been studying success for about 50 years. I'm 70, I'll be 77 in August. And I have been doing this work. I got involved with a man named W. Clement Stone back in the 70s. He was worth $600 million when I was making about $8,000 a year. And he basically challenged me to use his principles. And within a couple of years, I was making $100,000 a year. And so basically, everything I learned from him, I've applied to my life, and then also learned all the stuff that's come along, like NLP and EFT tapping and Gestalt therapy and so on and so forth. So this is all coming within this rubric of success. And my main intention today is to show you how to improve your health, strengthen your immune system, improve emotional well-being, reduce stress, reduce pain, increase your levels of inner peace and joy, and realize your full potential with the power of essential oils. Here we are coming out of COVID. Who knows what's going to happen in the fall? We know we want to have our immune system strong. Emotional well-being, we see the studies now, the amount of stress, the amount of emotional and mental challenges that people have, not just the frontline workers in the hospitals and the police and store owners that had to shut down and so forth, but just in general, all the social distancing that people have had to do. I mean, I literally went to my third large gathering in 2 years almost, or a year and a half, last night when my daughter was singing in a concert. So I know the reality of what that's like for all of us. And as I said, I want to introduce you to an amazing income opportunity for building a profitable and sustainable business that can lead to true financial security, which we all want to have. So I like to start with a couple of cartoons. And the reason I do that is to secrete endorphins into your brain. It's a natural opiate. And also we know you remember more when you laugh and have fun. So it says, so in retrospect, in 2016, not a single person got the answer right to where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Something we've all been asked in seminars, we didn't get that one right, right? I love this when he says, you're smiling. This abduction isn't terrifying. He says, honestly, I'm just happy to get out of the house for a bit. And so a lot of us are just happy for that. And then I love this because it's so true for so many of us, behind our computers, a huge mess. And then we've created this good scene behind us as we're all doing this internet Zoom calls like we're doing today. I love this. He said, I've got a busy day of Zoom meetings to interrupt. We've all seen the dog jump up into the lap and the cat come across. He says, you can name her whatever you like, but be sure it's something you can remember. You'll be using it as a security question answer for the rest of your life. And one of my security question answers is my dog's first dog's name. I love this one. He says, my two hobbies are smoking marijuana and rescuing stray cats. A little bit changes the perceptual skills there. Anyway, my final one, two women, older, talking about their computers. And she says, my memory really sucks, Mildred, so I changed my password to incorrect. That way, when I log in with the wrong password, the computer will tell me your password is incorrect. So that way she'll always know. All right, so I'm going to start by telling you my story of how I got involved in what I'm going to be talking about with you today. About maybe 2.5 years ago, something like that, I was running a luxury retreat at my home in Santa Barbara. And I had about 20 people were attending from all across the world, really mostly from America and Canada. And this woman on the right, Catherine Tristane, who was a journalist before she got involved in the thing I'm going to be telling you about. She used to work for CNN and she did the White House. She's been involved in just lots of cool stuff. And she was into these essential oils. And what happened was every time something would come up in the seminar, she would say, there's an oil for that. And I'd say, what do you mean? And well, we're about to do a guided visualization. And she said, if we have highest potential and we all take a few drops of that oil and we rub it on our hands and we inhale it before we do it, everyone's going to go deeper and get better answers. And I went, well, okay, let's try it. And sure enough, that's what happened. And then we were doing vision boards and it was like, okay, there's an oil for that. Well, in vision, you see there on the screen. Okay, let's do that. We were setting goals. And she said, well, if you want to set a goal, you got to believe it's possible. So there's this oil blend called Believe. So we rub that on our hands, we inhale it, and we started diffusing these oils in the room. Everybody was making bigger breakthroughs, deeper awarenesses, going faster than I'd ever seen before. At one point, people have to get up and share in front of the room. And this one woman was kind of petrified to do it. And there's this oil you see there called Valor. It's the same combination of oils that the Roman army used before they would go into battle. And if you remember something called the Roman Empire, they won most of their battles for lots and lots of years. They would actually bathe in these baths with all these oils in them for 2 to 3 days before they would go and attack or defend a fort if they knew people were coming. So anyway, people were having trouble sleeping. She said Roman chamomile. People would do that. They'd sleep well. If people were having stress away, etc. So the reality was I started getting interested in the oils. And so that was like the first thing that happened. And so I said, okay, sign me up. I want to play. I want to get these oils. Then I went to India for the month of February, which was the month before everything locked down in March. And I came back and all of a sudden we're locked down. And I had an issue with what was going on. Obviously, I wanted my immune system to be strong because COVID was attacking everybody. And I wanted a way for our staff to have an additional way to make income because we are a company that primarily was doing live trainings. We had about $800,000 worth of deposits on trainings that we were now not going to be able to deliver. It's against the law to meet, in these large groups. So we had to pivot and we gave about 200,000 back. We gave, we pivoted to some online coaching programs and that's worked out really well. But I got everyone in my staff involved in the Young Living program, getting these oils, and they started using the oils as well. Nobody in my company ever got COVID. One person in Hawaii did actually, but it was very, very mild. And then what happened is that everyone started increasing their income by introducing their friends to the essential oils. And so what I was worried about was I didn't want to have to lay anybody off if we had this income go down. And we didn't have to do that because everyone started actually increasing their income by thousands of dollars a month. Now, I love Napoleon Hill. If you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, you have to do that. It is just like it's required reading, you know. And one of the things that Napoleon Hill said, he said, every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. And that is so true. But what most people don't quote after that he said in his book, is you have to look for the seed and you have to water it. And so we were saying, okay, here's this adversity. What's the seed of an equal or greater benefit? Well, two things happened for us. One is we got into these essential oils, which have radically improved the quality of our lives. We've lost weight. We've had strong immune systems. We've learned all about non-toxic cleaning products and many of the things this company is involved with. And so our health has been amazingly improved. Our happiness has been amazingly improved. And I'll tell you about some of the things in more detail about that in a minute. And the other thing that was an equal or greater benefit for us was as we started doing more programs online, we started having people coming in from all over the world. We did a training online in April, a 3-day intensive. We had about 500 people. They were from 47 different countries. They would not have flown to the United States to do that in person. You know, some might, but the hotel bills and the plane fares. So whenever there's an adversity, there's always a seed of an equal or greater benefit. Many of us lost weight during this time. We read more, we studied more, we took programs like John Gray's and John Assaraf's and you know, all the other speakers that are speaking to you today. And the reality is that we benefited. You know, I've been home with my wife for 15, 16 months. I was married. This is my 20th anniversary coming up on July 4th. We got married on July 4th. And the reality is that I don't think I was ever home more than 2.5 weeks of any given month because I was always on the road doing trainings. Our relationship is so much stronger. My relationship with my grandchildren, which we've been FaceTiming with. So every problem presents an opportunity, you know, and so we're presenting you with an opportunity today. So here I was over in India studying with these people who are master healers. And I come home, obviously, to COVID, not such a great thing to come home to. As I said, I wanted to increase my immune system. And as I mentioned, I couldn't do live trainings anymore. So let's talk about what is an essential oil. Basically, when you take a plant and you distill it through a steam distillation process, you're taking the essence. This is how they make all your alcohols out of plants like tequila out of agave and, you know, vodka out of potatoes and so forth and so on. But you distill the essence of the plant in such a way that you're getting almost like the blood and all of the, this is a metaphor, but antibodies with it, so that you are taking advantage of the food in a sense. You know, in the Bible, in the you know, first chapter of Genesis, it talks about that the food should be our medicine. And, you know, so much of the medicine we take now is made out of synthetics, and they're not bioavailable in the sense that they're not all there. All the essential ingredients that support each other to get through the cell walls to actually do the healing often don't occur. And so a lot of us are taking vitamins, we're taking some drugs and things that we're not getting the benefit of because we don't have the cell walls opening up. And what happens when you take a complete essential oil is everything's in there, whether it's lemon or whether it's tangerine or whether it's from a pine or whatever it might be, that gets into your system much, much faster, much, much more holistically, such that it actually creates a health benefit, if you will. Now, why we use oils? These are the things that Young Living essential oils do. These are all therapeutic grade essential oils. They can reach every cell in your body within 20 minutes when they're applied topically. Literally, you can put lavender on your feet at night, which I do with my wife and I every night. We know lavender is often, if you've ever been to a spa, for relaxation. And we put that on our feet. We always sleep really well through the night. We have Fitbits, and I wear an Oura ring, which tells you how much deep sleep you got and how much REM sleep you got. And we're always, our sleep scores are like 95, 96%, as good as they can possibly be. And within 20 minutes, every cell in your body has these in it. Now we have 40 trillion cells in our body. We have 40 million trillion molecules in one drop of oil. So 40 trillion versus 40 million trillion. So within 20 minutes, every cell in your body has 4,000 molecules either on it or in it. That's how fast this works and how prolific it is in terms of getting into your body. Now, the other thing, the cells in the molecules in the essential oils are so small. There's a thing called Daltons or atomic mass units. And when they're below a certain barrier of size, they can get through the brain-blood barrier. Most of the pharmaceuticals we take can't get through. Much of the foods we eat can't get through. And there's a reason for that, is to protect you from toxins. But these are not toxic. These are the things that help you, and they pass through the brain-blood barrier. And sometimes when you just inhale them within 20 seconds, it goes up to the top of the olfactory, your nose, what should I say, the passageway, your nasal passage, hits the bottom of the olfactory nerves, and within 20 seconds can be affecting your feel good, can be affecting your anxiety and stress, can be affecting all kinds of things in your brain that quickly, because everything's so small. And as you're inhaling it, it's going right into your brain. Pretty crazy. Now, it helps eliminate toxins in your body, so it's detoxifying, helps support all the different systems, your digestive system, your nervous system, your muscular system, promotes cellular regeneration, which we all want so we don't die and get old, work on your emotions via the limbic system of your brain. It goes right into the limbic system. The olfactory is one of the oldest perceptual systems you have in the brain. John Assaraf was talking about your brain. And I said, within a few seconds, it actually is starting to be affected and goes into the brain and has an impact, which, other things, if you're just taking a pill, takes much longer for that to work. Promotes healthy emotional wellness, and they relax and clear the mind. Transports nutrients, are more available. So if I take vitamin C along with one of these oils, what happens is then it goes into the cells much more effectively. The word bioavailable means available to your biology to actually use it. We know that most of the vitamins you take, you urinate out because they're not getting into you. All right. Powerful antioxidants, and this is one of the major things Raymond and I are really excited about, is the antioxidants are the things that kill off the free radicals in your body that prevent you from getting things like cancer and so forth. And some of the products I'm going to tell you about have the highest oxidative reductive rate of any food supplements and foods you could eat and other things on the planet. We'll talk about those in a minute. When you diffuse them, you put them in this diffuser, which vibrates at about 1 million times per second, which I can't even fathom how that happens. Like, it's like the wings of these birds that go so fast. And so the reality is that it removes toxins from the air, which we all want, promotes healthy, breathable air. And it's a great alternative to chemical or toxic fragrances in terms of perfumes and things like that. So there's a diffuser on the left. You see all the moisture coming out of the top of that, which contains the essential oil. You can also pour them in your hand. You take your hand and you do it in a clockwise motion about 3 times. It activates the oils. Your DNA spins in the same direction. So when you do this first, it goes in and it's already spinning at the right activation to actually activate your DNA in a way that you want it to have happen. And all these are therapeutic grades. You can ingest them as well. So you can put them into tea, put them into water, you can put them into recipes you're doing, etc. For example, I used to get major allergies during allergy season. It was not a good thing. And right now I would be sneezing probably. And I would do all the things like Claritin and other things like that. And then Catherine, who I mentioned, introduced me to this, said, hey, you can either diffuse it or take a capsule, take a vitamin C capsule, open it up, pour the powder out, put 5 drops of lavender, 4 drops of lemon, 3 drops of peppermint, close it back up and swallow it. And I did that within minutes, my allergy symptoms disappeared. And I have had no allergy symptoms this entire spring if I do that maybe once a week. So again, it's healthier, it's non-toxic, it's very quick in terms of its effect. So I read this book called The Essential Oil Truth by Jen O'Sullivan, a really simple little book, about 100 pages, lots of white space. And I became kind of an oil geek, if you will. I'm just studying all these oils. I had no idea that there was a field that had so much impact. And as I mentioned, you're getting the life force of the plant. And your cells, 100 trillion cells, 40 million trillion molecules, 300 Daltons, mass weight goes right through the brain-blood barrier. For example, peppermint oil. I used to always around 3 or 4 o'clock, I would get really hungry and I would snack on something, usually like a kind bar, but bars that had a lot of either sugar or honey, other things, nuts and things like that, rice and almond butter. And I was not losing weight and I wanted to lose weight. And I just put peppermint in my diffuser. And all of a sudden, peppermint opens up the blood vessels. You get more oxygen in. And what I was really needing is oxygen from my brain to be awake, to continue to work. And so literally within seconds of putting in my diffuser, I was awake and ready to go. Amazing. So they've also found studies on peppermint. It's used not only to prevent fatigue, but it improves exercise performance. They found swimmers in a study in Japan, if they would inhale peppermint essential oil before they would swim, their times would be better. Their oxygen uptake was better when they're inhaling. They did the same thing where they diffused a placebo, just water, in one classroom. In another classroom, they did peppermint oil while kids were taking a test. And the kids with the peppermint oil, they scored much higher than the kids. They were randomly, the kids in both groups had equal amount of IQ, if you will, or emotional intelligence, intelligence quotient, and studied the same material, et cetera. So it wasn't about that, it was about the peppermint. So we know that these oils have tremendous impact. Now, one of the things Raymond and I are really excited about is this Ningxia Red, which you see here. It comes in a bottle like that. Ningxia is a province in China. It's an area of China, and they grow goji berries or wolfberries there, which they also call Ningxia berries. And these, this Ningxia juice, if you will, this red drink, is amazing in terms of its benefits. It's made with blueberries as well as Ningxia, plum, aronia, cherry, grapeseed, and pomegranate juices. So it tastes great, and it's got a tremendous amount of antioxidants in it. And I'll go to this next thing here. It's if you drink this, it's the equivalent of, if you were to eat 4 pounds of carrots or 2 quarts of carrot juice, or eat 8 oranges or a pint of orange juice, 2 pounds of beets, 3 cups of raspberries, you're getting that in 2 ounces of Ningxia. And what I do is I take 2 ounces of Ningxia in the morning, and then I take 2 ounces of Ningxia during the day, which I'll explain to you how I do that. And literally, it's changed everything. ORAC, oxygen radical absorption capacity. So this absorbs the radical oxygen radicals, the free radicals, and it retards the aging process and helps prevent disease. And wolfberries, the ORAC level of this is 25,300. Blueberries, which we've been told forever to eat in the morning with your cereal and so forth, only has an ORAC value of 2,400. Kale, which everyone eats, is 1,770. I saw a cartoon recently of it was a gravestone, had the caption underneath the guy's name was, "And to think I ate all that kale for nothing," right? So we're all eating this kale and spinach and broccoli, and it's good for you. We should continue to do that. But here we have wolfberries, 25,300 in this Ningxia. Now, essential oils like clove, the ORAC level is 1,078,700. Myrrh, coriander, cedarwood, rose, all of these have an amazing ability to keep your body really, really, really healthy. Now, this is a live blood analysis, and I've had my blood analyzed live. Before, you see the blood before drinking 1 ounce of Ningxia Red. And this is 15 minutes later, where now the blood cells are much more separated. They're not glomming onto each other. They're not clotting up together. They're much more articulated. Just in 15 minutes, what happens to your blood. And this is a guy named Dr. Minky, who's a chiropractor, I think down in Texas, and he introduced us to what he called the Minky drink. We call it the Dr. Minky drink. And if you can see this, this is what was an empty bottle of Ningxia. And then what we do is we put 2 ounces of Ningxia Red in there, 1 teaspoon of sulfurzyme powder, which is another thing we have, and then 3 drops of lime vitality oil. And then we fill the rest of it with water, shake it up. And I drink this throughout the day, so I'm getting my additional 2 ounces. And sulfurzyme also good for any of you have joint pain. As we get older, our knees hurt, we get the arthritis thing happening in our fingers. All of this is really helpful to ameliorate that as well. So lots of education that you'll get if you come on board with us about these products and how they can help you so that you can use them, to your advantage. Interestingly enough, Alice Rafovale, who's my marketing and sales director, she was drinking 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day. And once she started doing Ningxia, 2 ounces of Ningxia in the morning and drinking the Dr. Minky drink throughout the day, stopped drinking coffee. And we know that coffee lowers your vibration. Everything in the universe is vibration. It's all frequencies. You're listening to a radio station on a certain frequency. And if you change the frequency, you're not going to get that radio station anymore. So your happiness, your joy, your intuitive sense, your ability to download inspiration, etc., you have to be tuned to certain frequencies for that to happen. And when you're drinking coffee, very quickly it lowers your vibration. I know in the morning, if you're groggy and you get that hit of caffeine, it wakes you up. But the point is, it's also lowering the vibration of your body. And there are other ways to bring that vibration up, which we'll talk about in just a minute. Just briefly, we also have a whole line of non-toxic cleaning products. Most of the cleaning products you're using in your home, if you're buying things at your normal store, at the Costco and so forth, what's happening is there are immune disruptors and there are hormone disruptors in those products that you're inhaling, you're ingesting in your skin when you're washing your hands or your shampoo or you're cleaning your dishes, etc. So all of the products we have, these are all oil infused and they all are non-toxic, which is really cool. Now, I mentioned earlier, when you take this aromatic substances and you inhale them, you'll see right below where your navel cavity is here, this olfactory bulb of your brain comes right down where it touches, and that goes into the limbic system of your brain, which immediately has an impact on how you feel and how you operate. And it can change your emotions and your feelings very quickly. I mentioned Alice Rafovale, our sales director, when we had to potentially have to give back $800,000, which meant we'd had no operating capital for the rest of the year. We could have put us out of business. She was nervous to call up people and say, are you willing to shift over into our online programs? And so she would just take Valor, which basically gives you courage. And she would basically rub it on her hands, inhale it, do about 30 seconds of these deep breaths of taking that essential oil vapors in, if you will. And all of a sudden she felt brave. We have a whole new protocol called emotional freedom therapy. We have emotional freedom release, etc., where you can do inhale a sequence of 2 or 3 oils really quickly in the morning as you think about the thing you're afraid to do. And amazingly, you're no longer afraid to do it. Or you can instantly, and this is something John talked about, John Assaraf, we have these limiting beliefs that are below the awareness of consciousness that we don't know we have, and we're being run by the belief or by the fear that is, being held in place by the belief. And when we do the essential oils and we do this emotional release, what happens is often the memory will come up that created that, and we can release it right there without needing tapping, without needing therapy, without needing a lot of the NLP things we learn. It's just almost magical what can happen. They're so powerful in their function. So here's Ben Perkis. I mentioned the aroma freedom technique. He developed this. My wife Inga and I went on a call with him. We did it, and we surfaced things from our childhood we didn't even know we had going on. And all of a sudden, within about a 10-minute process, the belief came back, the memory came back. We were able to replace it with a new memory, create a new affirmation around it. And what was fascinating, because I do memory belief change work, is I would have to guide you through all the steps. And what happens is when you're using the oils, all of a sudden the oils are guiding you through without the therapist or the guide or the trainer or the facilitator telling you what to do next. It just kind of all of a sudden, my dad was asking for forgiveness inside my head. I was like, that would never have happened, right? But a facilitator might say, well, ask your dad if he'd be willing to forgive you. Or do you need to forgive your dad? Well, those were just happening kind of like a movie unfolding with the use of the essential oils. So as I said, this is my wife, Inga. And we had about 5 of my staff and Inga we were just testing this out to see if it would work. And now we're training our trainers, because I've got about 4,000 trainers around the world in 107 countries teaching the success principles. We're training them to do this work to accelerate the speed at which you can identify and release these limiting beliefs, most of which started when you were 3 to 5 years old and have been keeping you stuck, and you're not even aware you have them, but you hesitate to do something. You don't sign up, like John Assaraf said, why would you pass up something for a few $100s that could radically change your life? Because there's something in you that doesn't trust, that doesn't, maybe is afraid of being that successful, that, whatever, maybe you've been burned in the past and you're ashamed of making a bad decision. You don't want to put yourself in that risk again, whatever it is, but often it's unconscious. You don't even know you're doing it. Anyway, all of these things can happen for you. Now, I mentioned that everything has a frequency. Every oil has a different frequency. It vibrates at a different level. Look up at the top here. You see rose vibrating at 320 hertz per minute or second. I forget how hertz work right now. My scientific mind is escaping me. But anyway, what happens is 320 hertz. And think about roses. Roses happen. Love. Everyone gives roses on Valentine's Day, the anniversaries, birthdays. You take roses to someone on your first date. Roses have that energy of romance and love, and they vibrate at one of the highest levels of essential oils. We've all heard about frankincense and myrrh, 147, lavender, 118. My favorite oil, I put it on my heart every morning. I just put 3 drops in my left hand, swirl around 3 times, rub it on my heart. And within minutes, I feel this amazing joy. If my wife and I are about to make love, we both rub it on our hearts, and we move into the state of romance and joy, because rose is in this joy. It's one of the essential oils that makes up the blend called joy. And so you go down to meditation. When you're meditating, you're at 15 megahertz. You're at 83 to 77 megahertz. And so you're up 15 over 0 here, where you want to be. Normal frequency, healthy body. You meditate, you go up 15 over just normal day-to-day consciousness. Thinking a positive thought, just thinking a positive thought, like it's going to be a great day. I'm going to do this and it's going to work. That meeting's going to happen. It raises your vibration by 10 megahertz, just having a positive thought. A negative thought will lower your megahertz by 12, just by having a thought like, oh, it's not going to work. They're going to say no. I'm going to get screwed. My boss isn't going to give me the raise, whatever it might be. And as you go down lower and lower into anxiety and depression, at 57 megahertz, flu can invade your body. No one wants flu invading your body right now. This is not a good thing. Or pneumonia, which was the secondary thing that was killing everybody with COVID, because they were getting the inability to breathe in their lungs. So you see here that your vibrational level is very important. So the thoughts you think and these oils, which can bring your vibration up really high. Frankincense and myrrh, we hear about, when Jesus and the wise men brought him, they bring him frankincense and myrrh. We go to a church and they're putting out the smoke from the incense. What are they doing? Frankincense and myrrh and things like that, because it immediately brings you up into a higher level of spiritual vibration. Okay, enough said about that. So Einstein said, in the middle of every difficulty lies an opportunity. Same thing that our good friend Napoleon Hill was saying. So I want to talk about the financial opportunity real quickly here. What is that financial opportunity if you were to choose to join us and play with us with these oils? So think about this. Most people live their life by what's called the 40-40-40 plan, which means they're going to work 40 hours a week for 40 days and retire about 40% of what was never enough in the first place. So the reality is that's not a great plan for your life. And so what happens with essential oils, you literally build your organization once and you get paid forever. This is true for any network marketing program, and I'm probably involved in 3 over the course of my life. Were very valuable at the time. This one is the most amazing thing I've ever been involved with because of the integrity of the company, the people involved, the love that's there, the products are amazing. And for me, it's aligned with my work of transformation, which nothing had ever been like, involved with that intimately with it before. So the question is, why this company? If you wanted to work and have a multiple source of income, which I recommend, MSIs, which everybody I know that's really, really wealthy has, what happens is, why Young Living and why now? So first of all, Young Living has one owner. A lot of companies have 3 or 4 or 5 owners, or a board that owns it, or a conglomerate company who owns it, which means there's always going to be infighting. And we've seen a number of companies like that go under because they fight. One person wants to sell the company and get all the big buyout. Another person wants to keep it going because they're passionate about it. They get involved in it. The energy gets sticky. People leave because of the drama. That doesn't happen. One owner, Mary Young, the wife of the founder who founded this years ago, who is an incredible being, and she's totally passionate about this and going to keep it running forever. 27 years in business, this company. So they've gone through all the startup challenges. They've worked out all the kinks, if you will. So it's a great, well-experienced company. It's a $2 billion a year company. So tremendous resources, everything you'd ever want in terms of research and advisory boards and manufacturing capacities. They own their own farms all around the world where they're growing this in organic, farms, harvesting in the right, correct way, distilling it properly. So a lot of people distill it too fast because they want to get more. But what happens if they're an essential oil company, it's not good. And they don't get all the ingredients that combine together to work more powerfully. Over 6 million members worldwide, plus a commitment to have 5 million more by 2030. 40% are on monthly auto ship. What does that mean? That means 40% of the people that enroll in this company continue to buy product every month. Usually, like Raymond and I, we get our Ningxia every month. I get 8 bottles because there's my wife and I, and we do 4 bottles a month, 1 a week. And so if you enroll people to be part of this, your family members and friends and other people, if you take it really seriously, what happens is, in our organization, Raymond's and mine, 80% of everyone's on auto ship, which means it's an ongoing, dependable income that you're going to get when you get a commission on that. And most network marketing companies, 8% are on auto ship, which means that this is better than just about anything out there. 90% of the company are just customers. They're not trying to enroll anybody. They're not trying to sell anybody. So if anyone thinks this is a pyramid scheme, it is not. 90% of the customers are coming back every month and buying it. Why? Because it works. The products work, they're healthier, they sleep better, their kids are healthier, they're not getting the colds, the infections that all these kids get. I used to call schools germ exchange centers, when my kids were going to school way back when they were 6 and 7 and 8 years old. So that kind of disappears for you. 30% annual growth every year, 26% increase in members earning income just since this January. So the thing is growing very quickly. Now, and it's an asset. If you build up your team and it's producing so much a month, and you have all these people, and you can actually sell that to somebody else, or you can will it to your children in your will, which is what I'll be doing with mine. There's 700 amazing products. It's not overwhelming. It's very easy to use. Everything's easy to access, but you've got a lot of assets, if you will, for people to use from makeup, which is all healthy and non-toxic. I don't know if you noticed, but there's 40 carcinogens in the average toothpaste, not toothpaste, but average lipstick that people use. There's carcinogens in a lot of the toothpaste. If you're using a fluoride toothpaste, you are hurting the iodine levels in your body, which is not good because COVID, one of the things that stops that and helps stop it is the iodine levels in your body. And the other thing that's important is it's calcifying your pineal gland, because your pineal gland is where you get your inspirations, your intuitive insights, your spiritual downloads. And you don't want to be calcifying that. Doesn't work perfectly for you. So anyway, we also have supplements. This is one I take every day called Inner Defense. It's got clove, oregano, thyme, lemongrass, lemon, eucalyptus, rosemary, cinnamon bark. Again, it's a healthy immune support product. We have lots of, pretty much everything you could be taking now. We call it ditch and switch. I'm not saying, don't throw out your vitamin C, keep taking it until you're out of it, but then switch over to ours because it comes with essential oils in it, which makes it more bioavailable to your body. And we have quality, we call it from seed to seal. Literally, we only use organic seeds. We cultivate the correct way. We don't use any kind of fertilizers that are not organic. Mostly it's just what's in the soil, and then other things like, crunching up the old plants and so forth and putting them back in the earth. We distill correctly. Everything is tested 3 different times at the place by the company when it gets to where we bottle it, and also by an independent third party. And then it gets sealed as it's safe to eat and drink and do all that. Okay, so also what I love about this, we have a foundation. We champion education everywhere. We have a farm. We're supporting the local people. We are also ending exploitation in terms of sex trafficking, and we're developing enterprises for women in all the third world countries that we work in. So we're really giving back and making it work for everybody. Now, business-wise, a couple of real quick things. You can build this part-time anytime on as little as 30 minutes a day. Literally think, can you start a business and build it to where you're making thousands of dollars a year in a year or two? And literally the potential, if you were to go to the highest level of this company, there are people making millions of dollars a year and building on as little as 30 to 60 minutes a day. Here's a woman, Kimmy Brook. She wrote a book called The 4-Year Career for Women. She says, if you work hard at this for 4 years, you're going to be independently wealthy and set for the rest of your life. She was a single mom working in a company, and she started calling friends and enrolling them in this on her lunch break while she had a full-time job. And now she has 20,000 people in her organization and is doing very, 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 very well, including having written this book about it. Now you can build it from anywhere. You can be on your phone, on your laptop, and your tablet. You can be on vacation. You can be in the airport somewhere, and you can be interacting with your people in your organization. Where else can you launch a business for like $300? You can get started for $300 and get everything you need to start. If you want to start a McDonald's, you're going to invest $1 million just to get a franchise and get the building and get all the support that they would give you. Any other kind of business you would start, you have to put a lot more money into it. For $300, you can do that. And you're not in business for yourself, because Young Living does all the heavy lifting. They develop the products, they do all the legal groundwork, they do the customer service, all the data processing, the banking, sales training, marketing, branding, even they provide you with all kinds of social media. They put things on YouTube you can send people to. It's getting easier and easier every day because there's more and more assets like that. So again, all the stuff you would normally have to do yourself is being done for you. All you got to do is share the products with people. And it's about sharing. It's not about selling. And then you get to be mentored by successful people like me, like Raymond, like Catherine. Most all of us are millionaires. And many of the experts that we bring in to teach you, like John Assaraf, is also a millionaire. I think Bob Proctor, millionaire, et cetera. And we bring in people like that to educate you as part of our educational process. Where else can you do that? So you're getting all kinds of direction, training, support, motivation on how to be more successful. And you can learn it while you earn it, meaning you can create cash flow the first month. This is Trina Sett, who moved up 5 ranks to gold in just a month or two, which she started because she really needed to do that because her other business had gone under because of COVID. And what happens is she ranked up very, very quickly and is doing very, very well now, and did it like in a couple of months. So that's possible. You don't have to work as hard as she did to do that, but it is possible if you choose to do that, if you wanted to. And Young Living, when you reach certain levels, they'll fly you to different farms around the world on their dime. They pay for the airfare, your hotel. They let you go to Utah to their lavender farm, or France to their lavender farm. I think I have, this is up in Utah. You see some people there. And you see all the people in the background. Those are all people that were on that trip that they paid for. Here's a lavender farm in France. There was one that recently went to Oman, where they have the frankincense farms, down in Ecuador, where they have farms down there with all kinds of tropical plants that they distill. Now your income keeps up pace with inflation, because as inflation goes up, the product prices go up just a little bit. So you're getting a little more commission because of that. So you're never going to be a victim of inflation. And I love what one of my friends says: you can create the wealth building trifecta. So you're earning extra income. Now, what you do with that extra income is up to you. I've taken a lot of my extra income and invested in crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum and some other coins. And that has gone up, although, Bitcoin went down recently, but it's going back up again. But I've got this extra money coming in that wasn't part of what I had before that I can play with. You can invest it in real estate, stocks, gold, or you could just take, let's say you're making an additional $1,000 a month, you could put that into a car payment for a luxury car you've always wanted. Or you could up level the level of your house because you're paying a bigger mortgage payment. Or you could take your family on a vacation that you weren't able to do that year. Or put your kid in a private school if you think that's important. But you're going to have more money to play with. And we do weekly education calls. If you want to attend, you don't have to. Here's Jen O'Sullivan. I mentioned her book. These are actual screenshots of people in some of our teaching us here. This is one of the people from Young Living, Haley Jensen, taught us all about how the endocrine disruptors and all the products. Found out that 200 high volume synthetic chemicals can be found in the bodies of nearly all Americans including newborn infants. Think of that. Newborn infant blood has 200 man-made synthetic chemicals that need to be detoxified out of that body. It never should have gone in that body in the beginning if you were using the right products. And you'll see her there with her little kid who walked in. And so there's a woman named Lucy Libido who talked to us all about how essential oils can be used to balance your hormones, increase your libido, increase your performance. Raymond and I, we don't talk about this too much, but we both have much better performance at our age than we were having before we started using Young Living products. So she was one of our educators that came in. Richard Bliss Brooke, who is one of the great all-time educators on network marketing, wrote the book, The 4-Year Career. Eric Worre, who wrote GoPro, he's probably the top educator on network marketing. We brought him in. So again, build it once and get paid forever. Couple quotes. Here's Tony Robbins, who says, what's beautiful about network marketing is you get all the benefits of being a business owner, but you don't have to be worried about the supply chain. You don't have to be worried about the accounting, especially in the world we're living in today with technology. You can know what's happening in real time. The companies have already set up all the software. So it's picking the right company. There's a lot of great companies in that area. And it's really realizing you are a value creator. If you can go out and add value to other people's lives, if you can just introduce people to a product or a service that truly is extraordinary. Some products and services just can't be thrown up on Amazon. There's a story they need to be told. Like I'm telling you some of the story of some of the things that have happened to me. And if we have more time, I would go more deeply into those. Here's some of the people that I know you admire. Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group, 59 different countries, says, I am a tremendous believer in network marketing. Jim Rohn, it should say Rohn, not Joan. I don't know why I typed it that way. It might have been a spell correct. I didn't see it. But anyway, network marketing is really the greatest source of grassroots capitalism because it teaches people to take a small amount of capital. We talked about $300. That is our time and build the American dream. Darren Hardy, who wrote The Compound Effect and was the publisher of Success Magazine for years, says the future of employment is self-employment. Direct selling is one of the few business opportunities that offers average people with above average ambition to achieve an above average lifestyle, peace of mind, and financial security. David Bach, who wrote The Automatic Millionaire. You don't need to create a business plan or create a product. You'll need to find a reputable company you can trust. And here's Rich Dad Poor Dad, Kiyosaki. Said, if I had to do it all over again, rather than build an old style type of business, I would have started building a network marketing business. And then he says, much like John Assaraf said, most people never get wealthy simply because they're not trained to recognize opportunities when they're there. They walk right by them, don't even see them. This is an opportunity for you. If you want to get involved with this, all you have to do is go to aaron.com/young living. And that's going to take you to a page where you can register and get involved. We'll tell you a little more about that in a second. But I want you to know, if you choose to do this, you got Raymond and me and Catherine Chastain and others. We're going to surround you, and we believe in you, and we're going to help you achieve your dream. So there's Raymond. I mentioned Catherine Chastain. Look at all the people she's hung out with that you can see and can recognize and know. So you're playing with successful people who know how to create successful lives. This is one of the things we did, a thing called an abundance experience, where we took certain oils and had a month-long experience with 30 people. Oh no, we had 230 people. It was 30 days. And we take you through an experience of abundance using the oils and setting some goals and visualization and so forth. Everybody that went through that experience increased their level of financial abundance, relationship abundance, health abundance, etc. And the reason I bring this up is that what we do is we put together these challenges and events that you can invite people to, so they go through it with you. They then have to buy these oils to participate. They find out how these oils work, and then they want to get involved. So we're making it easy for you to enroll people into the game. This was last year, just to give you a sense. Each week we had 2 meetings as we went through the months. And what happened is we had guests come in, we had meditations, we taught principles, and we taught people how to use the oils, and we had daily practices in the morning with forgiveness and with gratitude and so forth. We did the same thing in the evening. We had guest teachers like Rhonda Byrne, who did The Secret, Lisa Nichols, Mary Morrissey, who's one of the great teachers, I mean, one of the best on the planet, the Janet Bray Atwood, who created the Passion Test, Sandy Forster, who's probably one of the greatest prosperity teachers in Australia, who's written a number of books on abundance. came in. Sonia Riccati wrote a book and did a movie called Unsinkable. Bob Proctor came and taught. John Assaraf came and taught. So here's the deal. Life is like a combination lock. If you know the right numbers and you have them in the right order, you can have anything you want. If you're missing one number, you're never going to open the lock. If you have the numbers in the wrong order, that lock will never open. So it doesn't matter who you are. I don't care where you're starting out right now. If you let us teach you how to walk through this, we'll give you the numbers in the right order. You'll have the combination lock, the unlocking success in this area of your life. More health, more wealth, more happiness, more inner peace, all the things that everyone says they want. And so literally, here's what you have to do to get started. You go to aaron.com/young living, and you're going to sign up for this oil starter kit. And what it includes all these oils, which are amazing. Lavender, peppermint, which I talked about, lemon, which is one of the greatest oils on the planet, copaiba, thieves, which is this oil that basically has a huge immune boosting effect. Panaway, which basically means pain away. You can rub it on any area of your body where you're having pain, and usually within minutes that pain will subside or disappear. RC, which has to do with respiration correction, which is something very important now because there's a lot of respiratory disease in the world right now. Purification, which helps purify your body and your mind. Digize, which is great for if you ever have indigestion. You can either rub it on your stomach. This is great for kids as well, or you can take a few drops and just swallow it. Frankincense, which puts you in a very high level of meditative. I always put frankincense in my diffuser when I'm meditating. And Northern Lights, black spruce, which is one of Raymond's favorite oils of mine as well, in terms of, what should I say?
Sleep.
Sleep. There you go. All right. Thank you, Raymond. I got my coach in the background there. And then the other thing we always recommend everybody, when you sign up, also sign up for the Ningxia. Ningxia Red this is like, I don't know. I can't imagine living without it now. It'd be like missing my multi-day vitamin, which is what I grew up on when I was a kid. Like I just had to have it. And it literally, everything in my life is improved in terms of I'm awake more. I don't need as much sleep. I'm happier. I've not had an illness, a cold or anything, in the last couple of years. I think I'm, going to be cancer-free forever. This is just what I believe based on all the research. So, you definitely want to make sure you get the essential oils, and you definitely want to make sure you get the Ningxia. Everybody that signs up for us adds Ningxia to their first order. And what I recommend is just try it. Do it for a month and see what happens. Everybody we've asked to do that, month or two, they come back and they say, yeah, it's different. I don't need the coffee. I'm not getting groggy in the middle of the day, et cetera. So these are the two things we recommend you put them together. It's a $300 US dollars investment, and it literally is an investment. And here's the cool thing. Every one of these things works for you, and it's the beginning of your business if you decide to play with us, because you are getting to understand what these oils are and use them. We will educate you about them as you go through the months after you enroll. And literally, where else can you get like a health in a box as well as a business in a box any easier than that? Martin Luther King said, take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. And that's what we're inviting you today. And I love this cartoon. It says, oh crap, was that today? And think about this. You don't want the ship to leave without you on it. And so make sure you take advantage of this offer today, again, by going to aaron.com/young living. I encourage you to join us on this journey. I promise you, you'll look back and you'll say, that was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. And I have a student, I used to tell a chicken soup story called The Best Is Yet to Come. And one of my students actually tattooed that on her arm. I don't recommend that, but she did. I just want to end with that. If you choose to play with, I promise you, the best is still yet to come in terms of your feel good, your healthy, your inner peace, your happiness, your joy, and also the chance to achieve financial freedom. The truth is, there are people in this company, they're called Royal Crown Diamonds. Most people don't get there, quite frankly, but they're making millions of dollars a year at that level. And I am at the level of platinum. I plan to be a diamond within a couple of months and Royal Crown Diamond within a year or two. And that's possible. Raymond and I both have that goal. Raymond got to the level of silver very, very quickly, probably one of the fastest in the history of the company, because he just made 2 calls a day and enrolled people in Ningxia. And they started doing it. And they said, wow, this is great. I want to keep playing. So I want to encourage you to do the same thing. And if you do, the best is yet to come. I'm going to say thank you for watching. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I notice we probably only have a minute or two for questions, but there you have it.
What a thorough and brilliant fact-finding job you did, my friend Jack. It was amazing. It was amazing. Well done. And you're right that the company requires you to start with the starter kit of the oils, and then practically everyone in our organization adds the Ningxia to their first order.
Yeah.
So go to aaron.com/young living. Just click on the link so you don't make any spelling mistakes. It takes just several minutes to fill out the form. They ask you difficult questions like your name, your cell phone number, your email address, your birthday, just to make sure you're not a minor, and your address, things like that. There's 7 questions. You just answer them. It's very, very easy, and you get started. And it's wonderful. It is wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you say you're happier than you used to be, Raymond? You seem like it to me.
Well, I'm such a happy guy. It's hard to tell, but
Well, I've known you for 30 years, as you said in the introduction. I say you are smiling more than I've ever seen you smile before we got involved with this. And so maybe it's just me, maybe the fact that you move out into the country and you and your wife are having more free time, but you're just you're vibing at a much higher level from me, your friend. I'm noticing it.
Jack, a couple days ago, Karen came up to me and said, "Thank you for introducing oils to our life."
Oh, cool.
It was really sweet of her to say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have several diffusers, and we intentionally put different oils in different diffusers, so when we walk into different rooms, it startles us with a new fragrance, because if they were all on the same fragrance, we wouldn't notice it. And so we just love walking around our home and experiencing the different oils and the different diffusers. It's a one, and the Ningxia, oh my gosh, I finished mine. I had it all day today.
Yeah. Raymond, just real quick, if you have a minute, like Josephine Phillips asked a question. How does purchasing items get you to do a business? Answer that real quick.
Okay, so everyone in Young Living is a customer. There's no extra charge to be a business builder. You don't have to notify anybody. You just tell a friend. And if a friend says, yes, I'd like to be in Jack Canfield/Raymond Aaron's organization, then all they do is fill out the form and they get their products each month. They can change the products every single month. In fact, on the first day of every month, I send you a video on what I think you might want to order each month. And then on roughly the 7th or 8th day of the month, when I get my products, I hold an unboxing party. I actually set up my camera and I unbox it with glee, and you can actually see me doing it. So you get lots of training, you get brief videos, it's lots of fun, and you don't have to ask anyone permission or pay any extra amount in order to be a business builder. Just contact me. You'll see me on your upline. Just contact me and I'll help you get started.
Yeah, I think the one thing you didn't say is when you enroll, you end up with a number. You have a member number. And if you enroll someone, like let's say your sister says, well, I want to do that. I want to get that cleaning product, or I want to get that non-toxic thing for my kids, cleaning or whatever, or that product, then you just say, fine, let me sign you up as a customer. And you just put in your number where it says enroller and sponsor, and then you're in. It's done. And they're under you, and then they're under Raymond, they're under me, and it just automatically happens. So all you have to do is know your enrollment number, your member number, and they tell you that as soon as you get in. But it's really a no-brainer, and we'll teach you how to even do that, even though it's a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm. And when you start, your income will be very small. If you enroll 1 or 2 people, it'll be very, very small. But then over the months, it gets bigger and bigger. And some of the people you enroll will tell others. And when that happens, it grows and grows and grows. Jack, for example, as far as I know, has enrolled only 15 people. And yet he has, how many are you up to now?
I think 2,400 people in my organization.
He enrolled 15 people and he has 2,400. Where'd they come from? He could walk by somebody on the street who's a customer of his in Young Living and not even know who they are. And I haven't, the same thing for me, although I've enrolled more than Jack. I like enrolling, and others just show up because people I enroll tell their friends. And both Jack and I have customers in South Africa and in Australia, New Zealand, England, all through Europe, Canada, the United States. Young Living's in 70 countries in the world. And you don't ever have to enroll anybody. Ever,
Yeah.
ever, ever. You can just enjoy the products, because the beauty of Young Living is that 90% are just customers. They just love the products and want to stay in it. So
Yeah.
that's proof that the products are great. 90% don't earn a penny and they stay in it. There are a few people who joined the company 27 years ago, and they have been ordering every month for 27 years and are loyal customers. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful company.
And Josephine asked if they enroll on their own, can they put my enrollment, my number in their enrollment? Yes, you can. The answer is yes, Josephine. Okay, I'm excited about this, and I really encourage you to do this. I've never been happier with the company I've been involved with, other than my own, because I've been doing that for 30 some years. But it's just everything I love and believe in, this company either is, provides, or facilitates or supports. So it's an amazing. Some of the questions about the products: is the essential oil vitamin come in a liquid? There's a couple things that do. Mostly they're pills or powders. They're capsules, with powdered in them. Is there a commission to earn? Yeah, you earn a commission on anything that anyone buys underneath you that you enroll. Like, what's interesting, my sister, who basically I was supporting for a while because she went through a difficult time. And I was sending $10,000 a month to her to live, because she lives in West LA, which is expensive. But she was a Chicken Soup co-author and made me a lot of money back then, so I didn't mind doing it. And I signed her up under Young Living, and now she's got about 70 people under her. So now I don't have to send her very little money at all to keep that $10,000 going. And pretty soon she'll be independent of me. So like one of my sons is involved. And, so he's going to be successful. I won't have to worry about him in my will. I haven't told him that yet, but he's going to be financially taken care of. So one of the things, is that that you literally, I love this idea: build it once and take advantage of it forever, profit forever, because literally it is. You can build this very quickly over time, or it may take 3, 4, 5 years to build to where you want to, but you don't have to put that much time in on it. 30 minutes a day, an hour a day. You don't, how much time a day do you work with this, Raymond? And you've got a large organization now all over the world.
Well, I enroll anywhere from 10 to 30 customers a month, but it only takes me less than an hour a day.
Yeah. And then the rest of the time you can focus on your life, your other work, and just do what you want to do.
Well, Jack, you and I spend, I don't know, 8 hours a day on our seminar businesses.
Exactly.
And so to spend 30 to 60 minutes on this network marketing business is a small part-time job, and we love it. And you're right, Jack, I am very, very happy now. And our relationship is great. And I know the relationship with you and Inga is amazing and calmer now than it was before.
Yeah, it's true. It's been very helpful to us.
Yeah. So
Right.
we've given you time to register. Make sure that you go to aaron.com/young living. The starter pack is the oils, which Jack talked about. You get a dozen oils, and you get a diffuser and a couple other items that they change every so often. And then typically everyone adds the Ningxia Red. It's such an amazing antioxidant. So thank you, Jack. Great to see you. And actually, one of the reasons I'm happier is I get to play with you more.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. We've had more time together because of this than we ever had in the past. So it's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right.
So
Well, thanks for inviting me to do this. I enjoyed it. And I'm going to go play Scrabble with my wife right now. And if I'm lucky, I'll actually only lose by 20 points instead of 100.
thank you, Jack. Thanks for joining.
Take care, everybody. Have a great day.